It looks like Jaylen Brown is more than ready to prove all of his doubters and haters wrong with his performance this next season. This is another episode of Celtics Digest. I'm your host, Godfrey Sympre, and Jaylen Brown is super pumped up and excited for this new season that's upcoming. Yesterday was Celtics Media Day, and we heard a lot of interesting comments from Jaylen Brown talking about his relationship with a couple teammates, how he's ready for this season, and he dropped his new signature shoe. Just everything with that and the brand has been dropped. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you're new. Don't forget, this is one of your best places to find all new Celtics news, trades, rumors, everything far and in between. And without further ado, man, let's get started. Now, Jaylen Brown has announced his new shoes they've already been previously announced, and he's worn them at a bunch of events. But this is the first time that we've seen the brand that's going to be a part with it, and it is called 741 Performance. Now, it's supposed to be a sneaker brand, and as well as I think they're going to be producing apparel among other things. And the shoe kind of looks pretty sleek. I actually think it's a good design, and I think it's something that if you were a hooper, someone that plays basketball on a regular basis, you would look into purchasing. I think this is a pretty good shoe. I wonder how much it's going to retail for. How is it going to be open to the public? Is the public going to be able to get it like off, somewhere like StockX or GOAT? Those are a couple questions I have right now, but I think it looks pretty nice, and we saw them on his feet. There's a couple pictures on Twitter and X and Instagram like of him wearing them, and they look pretty sleek. He's worn them at the All-Star game, a couple off-season workouts, and the shoes branding has been and marketing has been throughout the year, and I'm very excited to see how it continues to roll out. 741 Performance, super excited. Now, bringing into my next thing is just talking about he was super excited to talk about his summer and how good he feels and ready and is prepared for this opportunity to go back to back. We know it's very hard for teams, in the past couple of seasons to go back to back, but I think if any team is more than capable of doing it, it is this Celtics team. Now, it seems like all of the players have come in with a renewed focus and are just prepared to show that they are the best team in the NBA as a whole. It doesn't matter the East or the West, just the best team in the NBA as a whole. Now, Jaylen Brown said, winning a championship was something I've manifested for a long time. Ultimately, it made my joy a lot different. Now, Jaylen Brown, we've seen that he had a lot of controversy with Nike and Team USA because he wasn't picked up, but it seems like he's been able to overcome the frustration, the anger, and just very much appreciate what he's been able to do on the court in this past season. Now, we're going to look at a couple of the stats from last year just to talk about it. Last year, he averaged 23 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal per game, while shooting 50% from the field goal range and shooting 35% from three-point land. Now, this is a good season from Jaylen Brown, but I know people expect more. And this is and I personally still think, and I said this in a couple of videos before, I personally still think that Jaylen Brown is a dark horse MVP contender. We've seen the way that he's played in the playoffs, finals MVP last year. We've seen how he plays. Obviously, the individual stats are going to matter for themselves, and they are just completely below team success. But I definitely think with his upgraded play, that I know a level that Jaylen Brown can obviously reach, that's currently in his future. Now, there are a lot of other quotes that Jaylen had said during these press conferences for Media Day, and another big one that was talked about a lot was whether or not there was an elephant in the room regarding Derrick White getting the spot over Jaylen Brown. Now, Derrick White said there are no elephants in there. That was never an issue. And I would assume this is the case because we know the camaraderie that this team has together. We know that how much they love each other and play for each other on a consistent basis. And it was said in an article that Jaylen Brown and Derrick White had a conversation when this was all happening to make sure that there was no hard feelings between any of the parties, and that Jaylen Brown made sure Derrick White understood that this issue was not between him and D. White. Now, that's good to know that they were able to talk about it and make sure that there was no issues between them. Just knowing that this was an important summer for both parties and the whole team as in general to just recuperate, get better, and prepare themselves for the season. It's good to know that there's no hard feelings, no problems between any Celtics player, which all of us pretty much expected, but just to make sure that is already told to the media is a great thing. Now, Jaylen Brown said this, and this is one of my favorite quotes that I heard this whole interview. He said, "This summer, my heart wasn't broken." Now, in the past, us Celtics fans, we've had to endure a lot of pain and frustration by not getting to where we wanted to be. We've been waiting on banner 18 for a decade plus, and I'm super happy that it's here finally, but we've been waiting so long, and I feel like our summers have ended in heartbreak as well. But this summer, our heart was full with championship glory. That's the reason why we all wake up every day and remember that our Celtics are the current NBA champions and that they are possibly going to be able to go back to back. We all have to remember that each and every single day. Now, Jaylen Brown, I think he's always been a great player ever since he entered into the league. I remember a lot of people said so many things about him during summer league and places like that, but he's always been able to prepare and play to his best ability, show up these haters wrong. Remember a couple, 2 seasons ago, everyone was complaining saying, oh, Jaylen Brown doesn't have a left hand. Jaylen Brown can't do this. Proves the haters wrong this year, wins finals MVP. Now everyone is honestly, yeah, you could say he's glazing him or just, showing him so much love that, and then everything happens with Team USA. People are like, oh, how come they didn't select him? Nike, all this drama. And now that chip is right back on his shoulder. And I hope that he comes and plays with this vengeance that I'm expecting to see. Now, a lot of things, the last thing I wanted to talk about, as well as Al Horford had these amazing comments to say about Jaylen Brown and how he is looking entering the season. He says, I've been in the gym with Jaylen for the past few weeks. He looks like he's put on 10 pounds of muscle. He's so hungry, so motivated, and so driven. That's a great thing to say and something that we all want to hear. And honestly, if you look at the pictures, it looks like Jaylen Brown has honestly put on a lot of muscle throughout the offseason. We've seen his workouts, underwater workouts, and everything in between. And I'm just super excited to see how he's going to fare in this upcoming season. We've seen the work that he puts in. We know what he's going to do on the court on a day-to-day basis. We know that he's worked on his flaws every year since he's been in the league. And honestly, I think this is going to be his best season yet to come. We know what he's capable of doing. So now that we know the expectation, he knows he has an expectation to uphold. I'm pretty sure this is going to be his best season yet. Now, this is another episode of Celtics Digest. Let me know in the comments how many points you think Jaylen Brown is going to have next year, how well he's going to do, and whether or not he could be in the running for maybe MVP or All NBA first team. All NBA first team, that's definitely an expectation I think Jaylen Brown can have. He is a phenomenal basketball player, and I'm super excited to see what he can do in this next season. See you guys.